Welcome back, dear viewers. This is Reem Tamer welcoming you into a new episode of Cairo Local Time. As you know, that in Cairo Local Time, we always focus on the latest news that takes place in Egypt in various fields, including political, economic, cultural, and also entertainment news. But before anything, I would like to welcome my very dear colleague, Sarah Slim. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello, Reem. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. And dear viewers, we start directly with the very first piece of news in which President Abdelatif al-Sisi on Sunday held talks with visiting Malaysia Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim at Al Ittihadiyya Presidential Palace. This visit comes within the framework of the two countries' efforts to strengthen the historical relations between Cairo and Kuala Lumpur, which extend to political, economic, cultural and religious fields. Following the talks, a joint Egyptian-Malaysian statement stressed the two sides agreed to boost relations in order to achieve mutual interests. The Egyptian-Malaysian statement said there was also agreement to intensify efforts to establish peace in the Middle East. Earlier, El-Sisi gave a welcome reception to the Malaysian leader at the presidential palace. The Malaysian Prime Minister began a multi-day official visit to Egypt on Saturday that coincides with the celebration of the 65th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries. To know more about this, dear viewers, I'm very delighted to have over the phone Mr. Abdelatif, Wahba, the economic expert. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, yeah.
First of all, as we have been following the meeting between the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who has met the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim, how do you see this meeting and the topics that were discussed in it?
Yeah, of course, let us say first is that Egypt and Malaysia has a great relations along history extended for 65 years, and at the same time, as you know, that Malaysian students are the most scholarship students in Al-Azhar University. They are proud of sending their students to Al-Azhar, and at the same time, as you know, that we have a trade exchange also with Malaysia. It is about 800 million US dollar, according to the last statistics of last year. And at the same time, as you know, during the discussions between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the Malaysian Prime Minister, they are agreeing on cooperation not only in education, not only in industry, but also in the international society meetings, especially in the United Nations Security Council, and for subsidizing and supporting the right of the Palestinians. This is the core issue of the conflict here in Middle East. And as you know, during the last year until now, Malaysia is one of the countries that they send many tons of food aid and medical aid to the Palestinians through the Egyptian El Arish port. This is one. The other one, as you know, that during the last period, there were many contacts between the Egyptians and the officials and the Malaysians at the same time to increase their humanitarian aid for the Palestinians and after their delegations and discussions today, President Abdel Sisi and the Malaysian Prime Minister witnessed signing of some deals and agreements, especially in Wahba ministries and also in Al-Azhar and also in other different sectors. Malaysian Prime Ministers.
Abdelatif, sorry, Mr. Abdelatif, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I would like to ask you about in the meeting when the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim they talked about finding a solution to the Palestinian cause and to establish a Palestinian state and to provide security and learning and aids there. How they can do this?
Yeah, of course. As you know, both are Muslim countries, and at the same time, Malaysia is one of the pro-Palestinian rights, especially in the United Nations and Security Council. This is the most important point, and he declared that Egypt and Malaysia supported the Palestinians to establish their state, independent state, and also they supported the Palestinians to get or to be awarded the full membership of the United Nations according to what issued or the United Nations decree that issued before. This is what. And at the same time, he criticized the Israeli aggressions not only against the Palestinians but against the international and the humanitarian law, especially.
Yes, Mr. Abdelatif, this is very clear that this aggression comes in violation of all the international laws and humanitarian laws. But taking from your words, you mentioned earlier that regarding the Egyptian-Malaysian relationship, that these bilateral ties are going to be strengthened not only in the educational field but also in the economic part. And in this regard, I would like to ask you what kind of collaborations and cooperation that might take place that could enhance the economic aspect in both countries, in Egypt and Malaysia.
Let us say first that we have a huge part of the foreign direct investment from Malaysia. We have to remember at the same time that one of the main giant companies working in oil and the gas is from Malaysia. Working here in Egypt is from Malaysia, and they agreed to modernize the public sectors and also the public sectors in every sector here in Egypt, and also they can cooperate in industry and transportation and increasing the exchange of trade level between the two countries. As Asia is one of the member of ASEAN, and also Egypt at the same time in COMESA and other African bodies, especially for supporting the free trade between the African countries. So Malaysia can depend on Egypt and its support
Mr. Abdelatif,
for the African countries.
Mr. Abdelatif, I would like to ask you about an important point that also discussed during this conference. The Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim said that they will study the Arabic language in the capital Kuala Lumpur. What will be the role of Egypt to help the country to study this language?
Yeah, of course, Al-Azhar on behalf of the Egyptian state will establish an Arabic institute, not only the Arabic language institute, but other colleges or faculties in Kuala Lumpur, and this is, of course, will be a stronger tie between Egypt and Malaysia. This is, I think, an important point for the two countries, especially that Malaysia has a great or a huge number of the students here in Egypt.
Of course, Mr. Abdelatif, as you just mentioned that the educational field has always been the highlight of the relationship between Egypt and Malaysia, but also this collaboration in oil and gas and the energy field and the digital transformation in particular, we also discussed in the meeting today, and the digital transformation in particular is a very important point, as this is, as you of course know, is one of the main issues or topics that the Egyptian government is paying a great attention to. How do you think the enhancement and the strength of the Egyptian-Malaysian relationship could be a turning point in the digital transformation part in Egypt in particular?
Let us say first that Malaysia is one of the a leading country, not only in the Asia but all over the world, that has an information technology industries, especially in telecommunications and cellular phones and ships and so on. This is, of course, will help cooperation or increase cooperation between Egypt and Malaysia, as Egypt at the same time is taking many steps for modernizing its technology and for building. We have an industrial clusters for telecommunications in Asyut. So they can move some brands from Malaysia to be assembled here in Egypt, in Asyut, for example, in Asyut factories. I mean, for example, as many countries did, like China, like international cooperations, like Nokia, and so on. This is, and at the same time, as you know, that Malaysia depends upon these sectors in increasing its export for the other world.
Well, Mr. Abdelatif, thank you so much for joining us today in our program, Cairo Local Time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Reem. It was a pleasure for me to be with you today.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you, dear viewers, for watching Cairo Local Time. Stay tuned on RTV International.